Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks, Trout, for that intro music. That was wonderful. Hi. Alex, can you turn your camera off? Thank you. Okay. I believe we are live right now. It says something about being live. I feel very live. I feel slightly confused, but I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend like I'm not confused. Okay, you guys, because what is the most clear-cut thing? The most clear-cut thing is your stomach. I don't know if yours is like mine, but mine is talking to me all the time. And right now, my stomach is saying, it's very happy to welcome you to the Bushwick Book Club show. And this is our first show, or our second one about, regarding with a cookbook. But this is the first one where we get to have the authors in attendance. And in case you have never come to a Bushwick Book Club show, Bushwick Book Club is it's a glorious hour or so, a glorious hour and 30 minutes. It's a time where we share our thoughts about a chosen book with you through art, through music, songs, visual art, performance of all kind. And you are going to see 13 different performers presenting their new pieces inspired by The World Eats Here by John Wang and Storm Garner. This is the book today. It's just chock full of amazing, beautiful stories and recipes. And you're going to hear responses to all of those stories and appreciation in the form of more art and more creativity. So thank you so much for being here. And to kick us all off, I'd like to bring on Storm and John, the authors of The World Eats Here. Please welcome Storm and John. Hey! Hi. Look, what's the magic of Zoom? They just pop on like that. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're so excited.
We're so excited to be here. There.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And this book has had such an interesting journey because we're all on this interesting journey. And can you tell us a little bit about it, how it formed, and what the process was like?
Go ahead. Mostly your friends. You go ahead and tell them all about it.
Wow. First, I like to introduce the backstory of, Susan and I go way back, but she goes way back with the Queen's Night Market as well. She actually
right. It's
on
true.
night one, opening night.
I thought so. It was night one. Man, it was at a madhouse. And John, you were so tired that night after, where you were just like, oh my God, the whole thing. It was insane. It was just a whole mob of people and everyone having an amazing time. I was there with Marlon. Marlon's here tonight. Yeah. We were there together.
You guys are so brave. I'm amazed you still talk to us considering how bad it was. So at that time, I just actually had a big fight with John after being his BFF for a year and making Kickstarter video for start Queen's Night Market. And I was so excited for it. And then I just got really mad at him for some random thing and didn't talk to him for the entire first 2 years of the Queen's Night Market. So I was not at your performance, but I've heard the stories. But then I found him again several years later, and he turned the Queen's Night Market into this big, amazing thing. And as you know, I'm more of a storyteller, and I love hearing people's stories. So I started an oral history project to collect the stories of the vendors. And
when did you know it was going to be a cookbook?
John had already had an idea of a cookbook, and I'd had an idea of an oral history book, and we kind of meshed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'm wondering, my other question was, as we're reading the book, it's you get to know all of these different people's really interesting stories and personalities, and you kind of, I don't know, I kind of fell in love with every one of them. Did that happen to you? Did you all of a sudden how did you even choose the ones for the book? Because I know that there are a gazillion vendors and
Oh, we just included everybody who wanted to.
Oh, okay, good. You didn't have to choose.
I know she's exaggerating a
No,
little
but
bit.
we started off. We were like, oh yeah, it's not gonna be more than 30. But then like, we kept being like, oh, can we add? Please, cannot possibly cut. And then so it kind of expanded. But it's great. But why don't you give I'm gonna let John. He's the founder of the Night Market. For people in the audience who might not know us at all, I'm mostly an artist, old friend of Susan's. John is my husband. He started the Queen's Night Market, which is this amazing phenomenon in Flushing,
Queens, New York.
John.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the Queen's Night Market is closed for the year due to the pandemic, and hopefully we'll come back next year. But when it's on, it's a Saturday night sort of open air market featuring vendors from all over the world. Last year was our busiest year. We were excited about this year, but last year we had nearly 15,000 people a night, which is a small percentage of the people that came when Susan came that first night. But we managed to cull the crowd successfully over 5 years, and so now it's a sort of more or less sustainable capacity. So this cookbook is
and what this night market seeks to represent the cultural diversity of New York and Queens through food and other stuff.
Right.
And so a point of interest is, unlike some other unmentionable food events in New York, John really goes out of his way to curate, to make sure the people selling the food have a real personal connection to the food they're selling, and really represent all these immigrant communities and also longtime New York, other communities. And so it's very international, but also, the chapter 1 guys from Queens, and it's like Jewish and African American, and it's all these. There's so many more that we wish could have fit into the book, but I don't know, maybe round 2. But hopefully it'll give people a taste of something they haven't tried making at home, even if they've enjoyed in a restaurant. Maybe they'll learn something new about food from elsewhere, and hopefully they'll see that these foods aren't that intimidating as they might look. And I hope that the personal connection of reading the stories might make that transition a little easier.
Cool. I think so. I mean, I still found the recipes intimidating, but it made me want to eat everything. It really reminded me of like some really good food, and it gave me curiosity about new ones. And I have a long list now of foods that I will not make but really want to eat. So that still counts for something, And I found out that this was not the book to read before you went to bed at night. This was not the book, because you just end up being really hungry, and then you go to bed hungry. But I still really enjoyed the stories and everything, and I know that people here did too. And I know that Stacy was saying, wow, I wish this book was out right now, because I would buy some as Christmas gifts. And I'm like, it's out right now. You can buy it right now. And it would make a great stocking stuffer, stretchy stocking, and all of the proceeds go towards supporting the vendors right now. Is that right?
No, not exactly. Through the Queen's Night Market, well, he's done 100 of his, unfortunately, the market's pretty much closed. So he's been doing all these pro bono efforts, like feeding the front lines and stuff like that,
right,
through the night market business. And my part goes to the Oral History Project, which hopefully would love to be able to pay somebody to. I've got now all these wonderful interviews, but it just takes so much time and work to go through them and make transcripts. And I'd love to be able to
not do them ourselves.
to outsource some of that, and just to make sure that all of these stories, whichever ones the vendors themselves do want archived, do ultimately make it into an archive in a form that is shareable for future generations to learn about what it was like to be a food vendor at the Queen's Night Market in the early 2000s, or whatever people are going to call it, the pandemic era and all that.
Right. Yeah. These are some times, and I'm wondering, what kind of feedback have you gotten about the book?
I don't know. I think we've been sheltered, so everyone's been like, "This is the greatest book I've ever read in my life." So, which I believe, but take it with a grain of salt, I'm sure. I don't know. It's been positive, and when we were trying to cook our way through the cookbook ourselves, there were a couple tiny mistakes here and there, but otherwise, it's fun and hopefully, like most cookbooks, people will buy it and never cook anything out of it, which I think is probably what happens anyways.
I don't mind one bit. I was in charge of the stories. So long as you read the stories, I think it's a great way of just like realizing how, interconnected we all are.
Yeah, I love the stories, and it like really shows you like what goes into the recipes. There's so much. There are generations in there, and in everything that people are making, and they have such joy in sharing what they have. Anyway, speaking of feedback, we have a bunch of feedback in the form of new songs and new art right now. So let's get started. We have our very first performer is Jessie Kilgus, and she is zooming in from California here with Brett Farkas on guitar.
Yeah.
Hi, Jessie. It's great to see Jessie.
Oh, it's great to see you all. I really enjoyed the book. I'm not an especially good cook or especially interested in cooking. So I really appreciated that this book had this other element of the interviews. I really especially was interested in the Transylvanian twister cake because I'm part Transylvanian and all I've ever heard about Transylvania is that that's where Dracula is from. So
and
now
you've got twister cakes? Yes.
Two things. And also I'm the type of cook who recently a friend of mine was telling me he was quarantining, visiting his dad, and he was in a room alone with a microwave and he was making all his dinners in the microwave, and I thought, wow, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe microwave food is good. And I'll save you all a lot of trouble. It's not. It's disgusting. Okay. Here's my song.
All right.
And this is Brett.
Hello. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lately I've been reconsidering the merit of the microwave dinner. I'm not proud of it, but there we are. A friend of mine mentioned in his quarantine kingdom he was nuking his dinners. He was drinking whiskey neat. Thought to myself, now that's something I can handle. The type of cook who prefers to just eat. Cooking, I suppose, is a sort of meditation. Takes lots of patience and a whole lot of sense. I can't wait till the Queen's Night Market opens. I'm the type of cook who prefers to be fed. The joy of cooking, one imagines, is making other people happy, gaining much deserved recognition for all your hard work in the kitchen. And Chef Wesley Wobbles, sure like your name. Chef Wesley Wobbles, just like your name. It's the highest honor, it's a sign of respect if someone gives you homemade baklava. How about the twister cake from Transylvania, home to long lost Kilguses and Dracula? Cooking, I suppose, is a sort of meditation. It takes patience and a whole lot of zen. I can't wait till the Queen's Night Market opens. I'm the
Yay!
How's that?
Great. It was great.
That was amazing. I'm the type of cook who deserves to be fed. Hear, hear. I hear you on that one. Wow. Thanks, Jesse. And I love the little Glock melody in there. That's so nice. Catchy. I'm next. I don't know how to introduce myself. Not really good at that part. But my song is inspired by Steve Conhai, who is a vendor, a chef from Guyana initially, and who grew up in Queens. And he had this great story. You know, he used the term "fresh off the boat" to describe, you know, his status when coming here, and he described how when he went to school, being fresh off the boat made you a little bit different, and you had to learn to be tough. And sometimes, and he was always really interested in food, and sometimes he would skip school to go home and watch cooking shows. He loved this Italian lady making Italian food, and he'd watch Food Network. And then after he graduated from high school, he ended up going to become a chef, and I believe he went to CIA. I think he went there, and he describes just like the rapture of going to cooking school and putting on the chef's coat and hat and learning to work really hard. And he did his externship in Queens where he grew up, and he had this phrase, "You bloom where you're planted," and I really liked that phrase. The recipe is for Georgetown patties. It's a beef patty, and Georgetown patty in and of itself, just the words posed a challenge to me, not even to mention the fact that I will most likely never make a Georgetown patty, but they sound delicious. But the words themselves, like I was like, how do you put them in a song? Georgetown patty, can I make it sound song like? I don't know, but I enjoyed this challenge. And the other challenge was the word for this a specific Guyanese pepper, and I don't know why I just could not say this word. And I'm like, maybe it's because of like being an Asian immigrant, and the consonant sounds like it just was like kind of a bit of a nightmare. But I'm like, I got to use that word. I got to use the hardest words. I got to use Georgetown patty. I got to use riri. Woo, that was hard. And so I did. And this is a song. Marlon's already laughing at me. Okay, good. That's good. That's always a good sign. Okay. Oh, he also describes his first time making something for a customer, watching it go out to the customer, watching the customer eat it. And he said the feeling was like, wow. That's what he said. Wow. Okay, you guys. All right. Fresh off the boat, so fresh, you need a shell, you need a cover to protect that fresh, like flour with the butter or a lot of margarine to form the flaky case that holds the filling. So fresh, filling so fresh, you incubate, marinate, maybe you don't lose weight as you baste in cooking shows with recipes to teach you ways to grow and other tools when they think you're just skipping school, skipping school, you bloom where you're planted. Bloom where you're planted. A kid from Queens will top that top with ice cream and caramel sauce. The fun is lost before it travels across the room to the customer now to chow down. It feels like wow, 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 wow. Fresh off the boat into the chef's coat. Shoot the hard work, pay attention to details. The work is seeing through the work and to prevail. You bloom as you planted. Bloom where you planted. You should definitely use it in the recipe. Thanks, you guys.
Yay!
Chinese beef patties. I will never complain. Okay, but I will hope to eat when the night market opens again. All right, you guys, please welcome our next performer. His name is Jim Andrelis. And this is really something, you know, because right off the bat, we have 2 out of 5 syntonics, you know, at the Bushwick Book Club, and it's Jim's syntonics. Jim has a terrific band called Jim Andrelis and the Syntonics, and this is you just heard 2 syntonics. We have Jim here now. Please welcome Jim Andrelis.
Hi.
Hi.
Man, it seems like so long ago when we would be able to just like be in a room together singing, and I really miss that, let alone like being in a room together and like cooking for people and eating and just like letting your droplets and your aerosol just float around and not have it feel so dangerous. Any hoots.
I want droplets to not be dangerous real soon too.
Right.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, you always get to the heart of the matter. All right. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. This is so nice. And this book, for me, like many things since we've had to all keep our distance from one another, made me feel so sentimental about food and about recipes, and really mostly about the borough of Queens, which for me is just such a special, holds a really special place in my life and in my being a New Yorker. It feels like everything that I love about New York is mostly itself in Queens for me, whatever that means, but just like, I don't know. It just feels like being a New Yorker, so much of New York City makes such a big deal out of itself, and Queens doesn't do that. It just is wonderful. So anyway, I wrote this from a place of feeling just super inspired by the people and stories and beautiful photographs and recipes, and it just got me thinking about everything that led everybody to that place that I really wish we could all go Saturday. But maybe we can just make a date to meet there when it's back up and running. Okay. Everyone who's here and everyone who isn't, everyone who tried and everyone who didn't. Everything you make, and everyone who's made it. Everyone you fed, everyone who ate it, everyone you see every Saturday. Everyone's here now. Everyone's okay. Every recipe that ever made its way to Queens, I love you. Ooh, I love you. I love you. That's it. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jim Andrelis. It's Jim Andrelis Music.
Thank you.
And oh, so great to have you. You never know where it's going to go, including where we're going to go next. See, I don't know, because this is his first time playing Bushwick Book Club. His name is Steve Rubel. Please welcome Steve to his very first Bushwick Book Club performance. He is he's an actor and a comedian, and also, in addition to it, being a songwriter and musician. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, pleasure. My pleasure. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
I just put a piece of halva in my hand with chocolate. I thought I had one more person. I'm just shutting down. If you feel a little halva coming through, it's right.
I think I feel the halva. That's where it's coming from. Okay, all right. Thanks, Steve. Bringing in all the senses here.
Yeah, it's chocolate covered halva. You know, I was asked by Susan to be a part of this, and I think Susan is so cool, and so I knew it was going to be a great evening and to meet new and interesting people, and it's about community. And you know, reading the book, I was really taken by, you know, the community of immigrants coming to the States, and I've always felt that food is the way to break down the barriers between us. And I was really touched by Charles. I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly, but it's Chippengul from Botswana. He spoke about that his father was Malawian and his mother was South African, and a lot of the West African migrants were made fun of in Botswana. They called them this derogatory name, and he didn't let it bother him enough to stop doing what he had a passion for, which was to make bunny chow, is what he called it. Bunny chow. It's chicken curry bread bowl. I've never been to the Saturday night, but I look forward to it when all this is over. But I really think that food is what brings us together, and I don't really follow rules easily in life, and I'm not going to, because I wrote the song before I was inspired by the book. It's just a little backwards. Just not too long ago, I wrote the song that is inspired by. I just couldn't help but this is what I've never played it much publicly, that's for sure, because I don't have much of a public life when it comes to this. But I hope you enjoy this, and again, thanks, Susan, for including me. It's called Breaking Bread. I've been told that you're my enemy. I've been told to keep you over there. I've been warned that if you walked into my kitchen, I'd be wrong to offer you a chair. Well, my father taught me everything I knew. But what if he was wrong when it came to you? Look around this great big world, so many just like me. You know, we're all just seeking shelter, warmth and love, a little peace. So let's build a table both of us can sit at. I think it's time the two of us had ourselves a good long chat. You speak your truth and I'll speak mine, and we'll reach across these battle lines. Yeah, let's pour ourselves a glass, put down these stones, and let's try breaking bread instead of bone. Well, you love your children, same as I love mine. So let's lead the way and teach them to be kind. Seems to me we never even had a bridge to burn, but we can build one here and now if we take some time to learn. So let's build a table both of us can sit at. I think it's time the two of us had ourselves a good long chat. You speak your truth and I'll speak mine, and I'll try not to read between the lines. You know, let's pour ourselves a glass, put down these stones, and let's try breaking bread instead of bone. I see both of us reflected in each other, and we can go from enemies to brothers. You bring the nails, I'll bring the lumber, and we'll build a table both of us can sit at. Think it's time the two of us had ourselves a good long chat. You speak your truth and I'll speak mine, and I'll meet you at the borderline. Let's pour ourselves a glass, put down these stones, and for my past mistakes I will atone. Together we are stronger than alone. Yeah, let's try breaking bread instead of bone.
Yay! Steve's first book club. That was great. Thank you so much, Steve. Right, welcome to the club. And now we know he is also a good time traveler. Like, he didn't know like why he was writing that song when he was writing it, and but he was writing it for this. That's pretty amazing. Not everybody can do that.
You know, it's all just happened at the same time.
Very talented. Thank you again. Right now we have our next performer. Her name is Troy Ogilvie. She's here with her new presentation she worked on with Sean Gannett. Please welcome Troy Ogilvie. Hey!
Hello. Hi. So Sean and I made a little film that actually my brother is going to share from his screen. So thank you, Sam. And I was really inspired by the orchetti recipe shared by the Delena sisters. My family is Italian. My grandfather is from Abruzzo. And
that's the first thing you told me.
Exactly.
Oh,
do as I do, not as I say.
Who can I hear?
You're a good kid. And she like tousles the hair a little bit, like adoringly. Like she clearly likes it.
Troy, I think it might be on yours because everybody's muted. Is it on your computer?
So weird. Where is it
I thought they were doing that on purpose and that this was really experimental. And I was like,
riveting.
Troy is so clever. She pretends like she's making
I
this
should have run with it.
thing.
Has it stopped? I think it stopped.
Yes, I don't
Okay,
hear it.
I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, I know, tassels are hair. I heard that too. I mean, okay, but anyway, I'm gonna go for it and see if I get it all in. So I was thinking about Italy, thinking about my lineage. I found out that my grandmother was a dancer. I have a picture of her. Thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't really know she danced. Came across that. So I was thinking about Abruzzo. I've been thinking a lot about Italy and dance, which brought me to Tarantella. And I've been working on this solo about Tarantella, and which made me think about spiders. Tarantella comes from when spiders would bite people, and they would have a hysteria that was only cured by dancing. So I was like, that applies. Made me think about weaving and webbing and consumption, like you are what you eat. Made me think of food as medicine. Yeah, and then we came up with this. The song is not original, but I think that it'll have some new verses in it that maybe we are less familiar with. So yeah, please enjoy. And thank you so much, Susan, for inviting us back. And I really loved, eating this recipe. We ate it last night.
The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider climbed up the spout again. The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the maple tree. She slipped on some dew and landed next to me. Out came the sun, and when the tree was dry, the itsy bitsy spider gave it one more try. The itsy bitsy spider climbed up without a stop. She spun a silky web right at the very top. She wove and she spun, and when the web was done, the itsy bitsy spider rested in the sun.
Love it. Love it. That's so cool.
Love
What are you doing? Cool. Joy for that film, and Sean Gannett and Sam for playing it. That was awesome. Thank you so much. It really makes you think about stories and, what kind of story are you writing for yourself? And of course, like the stories of all the different vendors here, and what goes into all the different recipes, all the layers of meaning and intention and feeling in the food that we get to enjoy, ourselves. Okay, all right, you guys, thank you so much. Please welcome our next performer. Our next performer is Stephanie Laurier. She has a film for us, and I'm not sure. I don't think she's going to be doing a live intro, but this is her film, Stephanie Laurier in Brooklyn. Yay! It's like a book trailer. That was amazing. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks so much for that. It was like it felt like being at the night market, you know. It made that book that's already so alive seem even more alive. It was a very alive experience of that book. I love all the footage of the frothing and the swirling and everything, and of course the music. It's like hard not to dance to that. Holy cow. Thank you so much. That was Stephanie Laurier. She is the founder of Brooklyn Beanstalk in Brooklyn, and you can find out more about her. I believe her links are up there in the comments. Please welcome our next performer. Her name is Yeti Swart. Yeti Jet Black Pearl, also known as. She is an amazing Portland musician, multi-instrumentalist, looping, fanatic, just really awesome. Please welcome Jet Black Pearl. I'm excited.
Hi, me too, because I wasn't ready at all.
Oh, good. No, great. That's
Fine,
extra.
I'm here. Good.
Extra live vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, that was an amazing book and amazing stories. And it made me think about, the traveling, immigrating with all the hassle and the things that come with it. And what did I want to say, really? That wherever you go, you bring your own food, your own language, and your own flavors with yourself. So I took a lot of. I have to. Hold on a second. I have to. myself big because I put my lyrics on the screen. And speaker, there I am, there. Because if I cannot see my lyrics, I'll be out. There, full screen. Okay, there we go. Good girl, hurry, get them curry fish balls, las galaloo. I tandoori you, I want a kimchi. You softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Good girl, hurry, get them curry fish balls, las galaloo. I tandoori you, I want a kimchi. You softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Moldovan placentas covering the sky. My head is full of shoulders, but I cannot dodgy pie. A dumpling into roti john, I jump, but it's too late. You good girl, he says, please to ceviche. Accidental dumplings, I never seen to bow, and roti john's gone. Another beef momo. I tried to kind of quay, cause I've had my dose of chai pati for me, another spicy salsa. Good girl, hurry, get the curry fish balls, las galaloo. I don't know you, I want a kimchi. Softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Good girl, hurry, get them curry fish balls, las galaloo. I don't know you, I want a kimchi. You softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. A gang of mixed pagodas coming our way. Too much fusca, I want a chai tokwe. I'll call the kopitka before it's tacos. Let's get them arrested, this way was pericos. Warachus, it works, Priya John John. A couple of piriachi and we're singing along. Rellenos the papa, I need canon punk. But first we all need to chingara this song. Good girl, hurry, get the curry fish balls, las galaloo. I don't know you, I want a kimchi. You softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Good girl, hurry, get the curry fish balls, las galaloo. I don't know you, I want a kimchi. You softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Good girl, hurry, get them curry fish balls, las galaloo. I don't know you, I want a kimchi. You softly, would you chicory me? Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now. One more time. Good girl, hurry, chimichurri now.
Awesome. Man, yeah, all of those words are just music. Thank you so much, Jetty. And we got to hear the words as music, and we got to see them because you had them posted right there. That was cool. Thank you, Jet Black Pearl, Jetty Swart from Portland.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo. Please welcome our next performer. His name is Charlie Nealand. He's in Brooklyn. He's a co-producer at Bushwick Book Club. We do podcasts together. We do music together. Please welcome Charlie and his new song.
Hi. Okay. I'm spotlighted. This is just a song inspired by just this. It's just such an amazing, beautiful thing that John and Storm have done. And I just wanted to make something that was kind of upbeat. So in light of all the, tension that's going on. So let's play this song and see how it goes because it just came into being. Okay. Your love, your hands and feet, make it good enough to eat. Heat the oil, tell your story, cut diagonal, show your glory. I just want to taste, put it on your plate. I just want to taste something that I just want to taste, bake it in your cake. I just want to taste something that you made. It's safe right here, right where we are. We have gone and come now so far. It's safe here, right where we are. I just want to taste, 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 taste. I just want to, I just want to, I just want to taste. I just want to taste. I just want to taste, taste, taste. Oh, I just want to, I just want to, I just want to taste. Show yourself, don't be afraid. It's time to feed us what you made. Give of yourself when you're able. We're all seated at your table. I just want to taste, put it on a plate. I just want to taste something that I just want to taste, bake it in your cake. I just want to taste something that you made. Something that you make. Show yourself, don't be afraid. Show us something that you made.
Thank you, Charlie Neal. That was the brand new hot dance track written for The World Eats Here by Charlie Nealon. Thank you so much. For when you need to work off those farm cheese donuts that you can learn to make on page 111. Ta-da! They're from Moldovan, I think.
You guys, that was amazing. All right, that was really fun. Yeah, okay. Oh, gosh, the transitions. You have to go from that into what's going to happen next, and I have no idea what's going to happen next because it's Alex Shin. Please welcome Alex, our next performer. And honestly, the only thing I know about him, I met him at John and Storm's wedding last year. Was it only last year or like, gosh, recently. And so I know that he is a really good dancer and he's very good looking, and that's pretty much all that I know about him. So please welcome, please welcome Alex. We're excited for his new piece. Alex!
Hey guys, so I wrote a little intro. It's gonna be maybe a little long, but so I chose the, actually I'm gonna start on this part, which is noodles can be comfort. Even though rice is the primary staple food of Chinese people, I grew up in in North China, right? So that means we love our mian. That's the same word as the main in lo mein, and it means noodles as well as dough. In communist China before the transition, which was at the end of Cultural Revolution in 1976, rations were assigned by pounds of rice. Flour was harder to come by, so it was special, it was precious. With dough, we craft things like jiaozi, which is dumplings, baozi, also known as buns, mantou, sort of bun without filling, can look like the African Caribbean fufu, huajian, a seasoned layered bun that is floral in shape, youtiao, which is thick strands of dough weaved together into a braid and then fried, and of course, noodles. With one hunk of dough, even without a filling, you can feed a family. My father especially, he likes to always have on hand a chunk of dough. Whenever he's feeling lazy, he'll fry up or saute some veggies, squeeze off a few handfuls of dough, run it through the noodle press, aka pasta maker, and then boil them up. And that's him when he's lazy, which is saying something. And each time he likes to say things like he can die happy. Maybe he's a little melodramatic. Anyway, he and my mom take turns making the noodles. They both think they can do a better job. And they always offer us seconds and thirds, afraid that we won't have enough, kind of like back in the day when food wasn't so easy to come by. So what I chose is the Hong Kong soy sauce pan-fried noodles. I know it's not the same part of China and it's fried instead of boiled, but it's the same principle. It's quick, it's made with love, and it's mian. And here is my artistic interpretation of it. Quick intro on this too. I wrote it in a quasi-variation style, essentially taking a theme that recurs and modulates a couple times and divided into sections. The first section is the combining the flour and the water, kneading the dough. And then the next thing is waiting for the dough to rise, which takes patience and love. Development is you flatten the dough with rolling pin and you put in the noodle press, and you boil the dough, and in this case you also fry the dough, and you combine the ingredients, and then the ending is the garnishes and serving it. A nice steaming pot, or sizzling depending on how you do it. So the slow bow movements, the right hand symbolizes the noodles. There are a couple of short moments of pentatonic scale, which is what is associated with Chinese music, and there are a few musical quotations of famous pieces, see if you can find them. And mainly the piece is inspired by Bach, but has some modern twists, because noodles are as old as time, but it's best to combine the old with the new. I call it Noodle Variations, an Ode. So enjoy.
Wow.
That was amazing. Thank you. Alex shit, everybody. That was awesome. I love those cola noodles.
You guys.
That sonic, those sonic noodles.
and it really like transported us somewhere. I felt like that bowl of noodles was, taking me someplace, and thank you for sharing them with us. Thank you, and for sharing your history and experiences with noodles too. All right, thank you so much. Our next performer is Bernadette and Chris, who are Storm's godparents. So please welcome Bernadette and Chris from Santa Monica. Yay! Hello, you guys. So nice to see you. You guys are muted right now, so make sure you're unmuted. But as you can see, we have accordion and bass here. And there we go. We have you.
All right. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Dobry wieczór. Good
Yes.
evening, New York from Santa Monica. Hello. Well, thank you for having us. And I'm an immigrant from Belgium, and I was looking in the book. There are not Belgian recipes yet, but I'm sure they're coming. But there were many from our wonderful neighbor to the east in Russia. And so we looked at different recipe, and what we're going to play today is in particular for Leah and her husband, Valentin, and Natasha and Sam, who are coming respectively from Bashkortostan and Moldova and Ukraine. And actually, it's an Ukrainian poet who wrote the lyrics of what we're going to play tonight in 1840. The song we are playing is Dark Eyes, Ochi Chorny. And I think it will be important when the market open again for all of you to look for passion and look for these dark eyes. I'm sure we're going to find them in many places. So, Ochi Chorny.
Oh man, thank you so much. We're indebted. That was like, oh. Everybody, like, wistful somehow, you know. Thank you so much for that, and I can't wait until we can all, you know, be together at the Queen's Night Market again. Oh wow, thank you so much. Before I bring the next player on, I keep forgetting to mention that if you're able to, you know, to help support the Bushwick Book Club shows, it's greatly appreciated, and you can donate to paypal.me/bushwickbookclub or Venmo bushwickbookclub.com, or not .com, Venmo at Bushwick Book Club. And we appreciate, you know, whatever, you know, if you're able to donate. And it just supports our programs and helps support the artists. I'd like to bring up now, we have Sung-Yuni Lee. She's a chef and an educator and a performance artist, and she has a couple things to share with us. Please welcome Sung-Yuni Lee.
Hi guys.
Hi Uni.
So I've been waiting about 2 years to have a recipe book to read, since this is something that I love to do. I love cooking, and I'm glad you put me on, because now I can be the sort of infomercial that I do actually have the real book that I bought on Amazon, which is going to support John and Storm and everybody connected to the project. I wanted to say that I think it's amazing what John's vision was, to create something that basically is relevant, practical, and attracts 15,000 people a night. I think it's incredible. And he's sitting there being all real humble, but I think that it's an amazing vision that speaks about the oneness of our collective experience. You can tell by some of the recipes have similar ingredients, or seems like everything is coming from the heart. All the effort and energy is coming from the heart. And then Storm does this amazing thing with oral history. And I'm thinking I'd rather read this history book than read about Julius Caesar 12 years of my life. That if I understood history of the common people, of the extraordinariness of the ordinary experience, maybe we could just be a little bit more chill and not go around trying to take everybody over and conquer everyone. So anyway, I was particularly touched by the story from Laura Joseph, who is Antiguan, and she's a vendor at the market with a stall called Maoli, and she was talking about going back to Antigua and grabbing stuff and bringing it back in the luggage, and you know, basically bringing contraband into the country. And I know you guys are all law-abiding citizens and you've never snuck anything back into the country, but I thought we would go through that. But before I go through my luggage, I thought I would show you how to make ginger beer, Antiguan ginger beer. And I'm going to show you more kind of demonstration style, because I don't have all my stuff here, my cooking supplies in the office. But I find recipes a lot easier when you can kind of remember something in your head rather than look through the book, although these recipes are amazing, beautifully illustrated and everything. So she made a ginger beer, and I was really curious about it because there's a Korean dish, which is a rice wine, and then there's a Korean dish, which is a ginger tea. And this was kind of like a combo. So the first thing you do is, well, I made about half the recipe because this is a lot of ginger beer. The first thing you're going to do is find some ginger. And about half a pound of ginger is about the size of the palm of your hand. So you don't really have to get like too finicky about measuring stuff out, right? And then you want to have 2 quarts of water, half a gallon of water, and you're going to grate the ginger, which I did. That was actually the hardest part of the recipe, was grating the ginger, but you could throw it in a blender and make it super easy for yourself. And once the water is boiled, you simply throw the grated ginger and a cup of rice in the boiled water, and you let it sit overnight, 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. And the longer it sits, the more it ferments, the more it absorbs the sugars from the rice, the spicier it gets. So basically I did that. I want to be super authentic with you guys. So I did this a couple days ago. This is my ginger beer. I haven't tasted it yet. So you're going to see me trying my ginger beer, Antiguan ginger beer made with ginger, rice, sugar, cup of sugar, and some vanilla. So I'm going to try my suds mugs. And I wish I could share with you, actually. So let's see how it goes. Delicious. The spiciness is actually kind of tempered by the sweetness of the rice. Very delicious, very refreshing. Susan, are you drinking something as well? Yes.
Yes, I am, Uni.
Yeah.
It's not beer.
So 45 years ago, when my family immigrated to this country, every time we went, if my mother went back to Korea, it was like a golden opportunity to grab those ingredients from the motherland. Like now that we have like H Marts, H Mart is pretty much New Jersey. You don't do that so much. What would happen if you went through customs and you had your luggage checked? It was 45 years ago, and you were like, I gotta bring some of my stuff back to the country. What would you find? Well, here's my passport. Aha, US citizen. Some clothes. Lots of stuff from the sea. So here I have something called file fish, which is basically a flat fish that's dry. Let's see if I can grab one. Here it is. It looks like parchment paper. It stinks to high heaven, but it's super delicious. It's really easy to make when you put it, it's especially really good if you throw it on the grill for a second. So if you have a gas stovetop, you can just throw these on and then munch, 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 just like a potato chip, but kind of better. What else do I have? More tile fish. Sea vegetables. See, you can tell now that Korea is surrounded by the ocean. More sea vegetables, kombu, seaweed. Oh, and here is the ingredient that I thought you guys would enjoy the most. This used to be our childhood snack in the car. Instead of eating chips or popcorn or anything from the package, we used to grab these babies. I don't know if you guys can tell what this is, but it is exactly what it looks like. No, it's not a dead frog. It's a squid. And this is also really good, thrown on the grill for a minute. And this is what we would have as a snack in the car. And I realized that actually our food system has gotten so kind of monotone in a way that I haven't had a squid tentacle dried like this for like 15 years, believe it or not. So I'm gonna try a piece. It's gonna take me about 5 minutes to chew it, but has a lot of protein, is really good for you. And if you can easily throw it into your luggage. So anyway, the next time I do get to travel around the world, I will go and pick up some food.
You need to pointing that out. You know, think about that, but everything tastes better out of the suitcase. It's true, you know. And I'm so glad you got to have that tentacle after 15 years, way too long, you know, between tentacles, and hopefully it won't be that long again. But thank you so much for sharing with this. So Uni, you can call her, I call her Uni. Okay, thanks, Uni. That was awesome.
Good snacks.
All right, we're here at our final performance. His name is Don Ralph. Please welcome Don Ralph.
You surprised me.
Did I? Okay, it's Don Ralph in Seattle, who I know, through New York, and we played with him in Seattle, and he does Bushwick Book Club in Seattle. He's here with his new song for us right now.
Thank you. Let me just say, if you think this is the best show yet of the Bushwick Book Club,
Best show yet.
It's true. Everyone's been great. I think there is nothing more romantic than an outdoor nighttime food market with dishes from around the globe served in Queens. That's the most romantic part. And I know, because my family's originally from Queens, originally from Richmond Hill, Queens. So I have a unique tie to all this, a special attachment. So the fact that John started this is just a wonderful vision. I mean, I just embrace it. And that it has come alive is just remarkable to me. And I just love it so much. This one person with a dream, a delirium, made it happen. And I know that special things can happen with the delirium. So don't underestimate delirium. When I think of the night market, I also think of, I just have to say one little plug here I have to think of my good friend Josh Ozerski, who started a festival called Metopia, another outdoor food festival. He passed away years ago, but I know that Josh would have loved the Queens Night Market. And it's just the beauty of the beauty of the community that it brings together, an event that like this can create. I just love it. So anyway, have I talked enough yet? Maybe not. So with this, I made the only recipe I made so far out of the book is the orecchiette, and it ties into all this market. It fuels love and it stirs appetites, and I give you all that in this song. Tell me if you can hear this okay. Can you hear everything so far?
Yes.
Testing. How's that? You can hear okay?
It sounds good.
Okay, here we go. Last night I made the orecchiette. It means little ears, don't you know? And I sure think that you're pretty. At the Queen's Night Market, here we go. For pierogi and blintzbox and Ukrainian borscht. For donuts and halva and mixed pakoras. For Antiguan seafood and the roti john. I'll stay here all week until the food is gone. Far from the ordinary, where food and fire marry. No one sees you dancing, but I do. Talking with Don Ceviche, nothing could be more PJ. No one sees you smiling, but I do. And the night air fills my soul with 7 kinds of joy. And the kimchi pancakes come alive with magic soy. And all the voices stirring curries beneath the tents. Let me tell you, the ote is heaven sent. And no one sees you quite the way that I do. And no one watches you the way that I do. I do. That night I had the orecchiette. It means little ears, don't you know? And I sure think that you're pretty. At the Queen's Night Market, here we go.
Night Market, here we go. I feel like, here we go into this, this unknown together, which is what we do together. It's like our favorite thing, right? And at the same time, you brought us back to like the turn of the century somehow. It's like, I feel like, Coney Island and like World Fair. But thank you so much, Don. That was freaking amazing. Thank you. And thanks to everyone for being here and sharing these songs and this time with us and talking about The World Eats Here by Storm and John. I'm inviting everybody back on for the curtain call. Everybody back on. Unmute yourselves and make sure your camera's on. And are the authors here? Because I'd really like them to be here. But
Here.
if they're not. Oh, they are.
That
Yay!
So amazing, and I can't wait to share with all the vendors so they can hear all the little plugs. It's just an absolutely incredible.
That was so fun. Well, it's book club tradition for us to group hug the authors at the end, and so we're group hugging you right now. We're group hugging you right now.
Thanks a lot. Great.
Thank you so much, everyone. You all are just amazing. So grateful.
Yay!
Bravo.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you.
I'll let you know when we're having our next Bushwick Book Club. Thanks everyone for performing. Thank you, Teresa Toro, for doing the links behind the scenes. Thank you, Stacy Rock, for rocking the whole tech thing today. All right. Thanks for your new songs, and they'll live on in, as Squeeze Night Market will live on. Maybe we'll all, play there next year or whenever that happens. All right.
So many Queens Night Market theme songs right now. It's just amazing.
It's true. A million theme songs in a movie.
Maybe we'll publish a soundtrack now.
Yeah.
The World Eats Here soundtrack.
And the lyrics were just all very publishable.
Woohoo! All right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the work.
Thank you, Storm and John, for being with us. Thanks, everybody. All right. See you guys next time.
Night. Thank you.
Have a great
Bye-bye,
Thanksgiving,
New York.
everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.